Good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome to Thursday, day 4 of 5. Hopefully, you're well into the swing of things now. As you can see, I'm in Mr. Lanty's maths classroom again. It's been decorated. If you'll just show that it's looking a little bit bonkers. Really nice, I've got to say, actually. Nice atmosphere to be in. So, in a moment, you'll see the 10 questions. Pause it, give 10 a good go. I'm hoping we're going to be getting close to getting 10 out of 10 with these now, if you've made good quality notes. Unfortunately, there is no Reeboks today. It's me, Ted Baker's. I've failed you. I apologise. Use yesterday's, Tuesdays and Mondays notes that you made in green pen. Fingers crossed, you would have picked up a few of these methods now. Best of luck. Okay, hopefully that went well. I'm going to kick off with question 1. So it's adding. What is the total of 100, add 0.5, add 0.05? So 100, add 0.5, so 0.5, there's my decimal points. Line everything up, really, really important. Add 0.05. So remember, replace any gaps with zeros, and it is just adding. So I'm going to go down the column. So I've just got a 5 there. Got another 5 there, got zeros, and I've got a 1. So your answer is 100.55. Easy peasy. I'm not going to explain that anymore. That's the 4th one we've done of those, and they've all been the same method. They've all been easy. Work out 93 times 35. 93 times, was it 35? 93 times 35. So, 93 times 35. Remember, the hardest part of this is drawing the grid. Okay, so your grid goes wrong, you're going to make a mistake somewhere. So, 3 times 3 is 9, put your tens and your units. 3 times 5 is 15, tens, units. 9 times 3 is 27, 9 times 5 is 45. So now add up each of these channels, diagonal channels. I've got 5 here. I've got 9 and 1 is 10 and 5 is 15, so I put the units and carry the tens. That's 12, that's 3. 3, 2, 5, 5. Okay. Again, I don't think I need any more explanation. It's been the same method for 4 days in a row. What's next? Simplify. So simplify 2 times A times A. So people find these a little bit tricky. I said yesterday, think of what you do know. If I said to you, what's 2 times A? You'd say, well, 2 times A is simply going to be 2A. What's 2A times A? Remember, you can only do apples with apples. So A times A is A squared. So your answer is going to be 2A squared. Quite a tricky one, that one. If x equals 3, work out the value of 10x minus 20. So if x equals 3, what is 10x minus 20? So we know by now this means multiply. And if x is 3, this means 10 times 3. 10 times 3 is 30. Minus 20 is 10. Easy peasy. I'm hoping you've all got at least 3 out of 4 by now. That would be decent. I'll be happy with that. Next up, round 0.586. 0.586 to correct to one significant figure. So that's my first significant figure. Anything else has got to be zeros. So is this closer to 0.5 or 0.6? That's one way you could ask yourself the question. The other way, it's followed by an 8, which means this has to round up. So it'd be 0.6. Okay. Oh, on that note, you've got 0.586. That is not your first significant figure. Okay. The first number you come across. I don't count the 0 as a number, if you like, in terms of this sort of question. So the 0 doesn't count. It's the first number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Okay. Common mistake, that one. Solve 8x equals 48. 8x equals 48. Okay, so this is the final step of solving an equation, like a one step. So when you get to here, you always divide by the number of x's. Okay, this means 8 times x. There's 8 x's there. So you do the opposite, the inverse operation. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. So this is 8 times x. So the opposite of times by 8 is divide by 8. So I have to divide by 8 to get x by itself. And because I've divided this side of the equals by 8, I have to divide this side by 8 as well. Okay, 48 divided by 8 is 6. X equals 6. Lovely jubbly. Find the missing terms. 23, 29, 23, 29. Got a missing term. Then I've got 41 and another missing term. Now, if you're anything like me, as you're writing these, 23, 29, you're identifying that that is going up by 6. So I'm now going to put this one up by 6. 29 add 6 is 35. I'm going to now put that one up by 6, and I hope when I add 6 to this, it's going to equal 41, because that's what I've been given, and it does. So I'm happy that the add 6 rule is correct. 41 add 6 is 47. So 35 and 47. Again, I know I'm doing these pretty quickly, but you obviously have the benefit of being able to kind of stop it or pause it and go back and relook at things. Obviously in a classroom, I'll be checking people's understanding, and if they weren't sure, I'll be doing kind of alternatives and things like that. So what I'd say, if you're at home with your parents and they're understanding this, ask them to give you kind of alternatives. This 10 questions might actually turn into 30. Expand 5 bracket 8 and 3x. 5 bracket 8 and 3x. We know expand means multiply. You multiply this by this. Okay, and 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 3x is going to be 15x. So 40 add 15x. Okay, expand means multiply. That should have been written, if you didn't know that, that should have been written in green during week 1. Next up, 8.5 centimetres. 8.5 centimetres into millimetres. Molly, how many millimetres in a centimetre? 10. Good, I'm pleased you knew that. So many people don't, it's surprising. So we know 1 centimetre equals 10 millimetres. So all we need to do is times this by 10. So it's going to be 85 millimetres. Okay? If you didn't know that, in green, you need to be writing that down. Okay, and look at your ruler. Look at 1 centimetre, look at the little millimetres in between. Okay, common sense. You need to know this sort of thing. If you buy doors, I bought some doors recently, but not recently, a few years ago for my house. They're in millimetres. Okay, so do you need to know that? Last one. Last but not least is, what is the ninth square number? So square number, what's a square number? Number multiplied by itself. So the ninth square number, 1 squared, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 squared, 3 squared, but the ninth squared is going to be 9 squared, which is 9 times 9, which is 81. Okay, the 7th square number, 7 times 7. The 12th square number, 12 times 12. The 3rd cube number, 3 times 3. Times 3. Okay, make sure we know the difference between cubed and squared. Okay, so just on that note, that is 4 squared, 4 times 4. Okay, 4 cubed is 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, so that's called squared, that's called cubed. After that, we've got 4 to the power of 4, which is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Then we have 4 to the power of 5, which is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, and so on. Right, Friday tomorrow, that'll be the last one of the week. I'm still undecided as to next week where I go. I could do another, what I may well do is do another kind of key stage 3, or kind of more mega basics, but slightly more difficult than these. Okay, so I think that's kind of what I'm thinking. If you've got any preferences, send me a message on Show My Homework, or leave a comment, a nice polite comment on YouTube. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's a lovely day out there. I'm looking forward to going home in a bit and getting out of me, notice I wore my Macmillan red tie, getting out of me shirt and tie. I've got some phone calls to make before I go home, and then I'm going to be working on my patio again. You enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.